long the S&P 500 right now. I have in the money options right now on the S&P 500. They're actually up about 20% still from November lows last year. I have a long-term options on these things here. If we make a move up towards that 8,000 level in the next 6 months, then my options are going to be up 3, 4, 500% return. If I'm getting into a trade right now, I'm taking 10% of my account, putting it into the market there. The worst case scenario is I lose that 10 grand. I still got 90% of my account there. I'm good to go for another trade. That's the worst case scenario, is if it expires worthless. Now that's not going to happen, right? Because I'm going to get out. That's why I buy plenty of time. An average loss would be about $3,000 because I'm buying in the money and I'm buying plenty of time. So if I look at my average loss, which is around 30%, sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. A $100,000 trading account with a $10,000 position, my average loss is $3,000 off that $10,000. Now, if the move does happen over the course of a 3-4 month period, in this case with the S&P 500, and I make 30% return, that $10,000 trade is now made me $30,000, which is a 30% increase on my account. So I grew my account by 30% in one trade by risking roughly 3%, maybe 5% on that one risk there. So in that case scenario, my average loss for me is $3,000. That's the average. Sometimes I get a bit more, bit less. But if you look at that situation there, I'm risking $3,000 to potentially make $30,000. And out of, say you took 10 trades, or say you took 20 trades, and 10 of them were losers like that, and 10 of them were profitable, and 3 or 4 of them did those sort of numbers, you had a successful year that year. You're going to have losses, right? I'm going to have losses. I'm going to call something and it's not going to work out. That's the nature of the beast, isn't it? So how do we protect ourselves while growing it? Now you understand why. Now you understand how I've done really well from trading. It's not that I don't have losses. I have losses. Sometimes I have 2 or 3 losses in a row. But if I have, as I said before, a $3,000 loss, a $2,000 loss, a $3,000 loss, a $30,000 profit, and so on and so forth. So, for example, the trades that I did, the trades that I closed last month in January, or it's actually, last month in January, were 2 trades. One was a 30%, one was a 300% return. That was on a trade. And I also had a nice 330% return shorting silver. But they were the only 2 trades I did in January. So I have had a 100% success rate so far of my closed trades.